Colette is by far my favorite brawler, so I decided to master her, but with a twist. I will only play ranked no matter what map I get. This push starts at 13,949 mastery points and 800 ranked elo. In my first game I got hot zone, which definitely wasn't the most ideal game mode, but players on this elo aren't the greatest. To be fair, for a bronze match they were fighting back a bit, but we still won easily. This already got me to bronze 3, but the drop was just... From this point I just kept on flying through games. Oh wait, we actually lost. In bronze. I may have had more damage than the whole lobby combined, but still losing in bronze is just a bit embarrassing. But I also realized that I might have been able to win if I had the other star power, so I decided to buy it. Did it change anything? Not for now, because playing like this definitely didn't help. Also, in this game I had a very interesting Daryl. He played like he just downloaded the game, but in the last round it seemed like his brother took his phone because the guy got a double kill from nowhere. In the end we won this game and I got to silver 1. Epic drop as usual was useless. In the next few games I was getting a lot of power 9 teammates with no gears or anything, and I always wonder, how do these people enjoy playing the game under-leveled? Like you're making things harder for yourself for no reason whatsoever. I guess maxing out a brawler nowadays is really expensive, so I can't really blame them. Anyways, in this game I had a lot of fun with my hypercharge at times, but it may have been a bit too much sometimes. Luckily it didn't really matter and I got carried by a power 9 Edgar, which was quite humbling. Anyways, this win got me to silver 2, so maybe now I would get lucky? Not even close, but I finally got to play Brawler and I decided to test the pushback star power. I never liked using it because I felt very vulnerable without the shield, but into a good matchup it's very satisfying to play. Cycling the supers was much easier and wins were also flying in. This got me to silver 3, but was the drop at least decent? They are so useless, I swear. Anyways, while on my way to gold 3 I came across a bit of a problem. Bushy maps. Colette doesn't have any good scouting options, so it was quite a painful game to play. Also, playing into Penny didn't help at all, but I had a few good plays here and there. Dying to a bot gas definitely wasn't one of them, but anyways this game got me to gold 1. The Emphic drop was... I don't know what to think about it. From there the game somehow got much easier, like I was just gliding through people with ease, which is so weird to me how games in higher ranks can be easier compared to like bronze. I still had a few questionable supers, but in the end we won this game, which got me to gold 2. I can't be bothered anymore. But a few games later I finally got highs. This was the first time in this push I got it, but I'm not surprised since it's by far the best mode for Colette. With no problems we got a very easy win and I reached gold 3 quite fast. Let's see what I get. From this point I was fortunately getting a lot more highs games, but my mates had some interesting ideas. For example, this Chuck was doing a no super challenge and the Colt... To be honest, I don't know what he was doing. This was yet another loss before hitting diamond, but I fortunately got myself together and I started playing a lot better. I was able to carry my mates, which to be fair wasn't easy. Like, this Griff was just non-stop dying and the dynamic struggled to hit a stunned opponent. How is that even possible? Anyways, I was still trying to figure out which star power was better, and to be honest I think shield is more consistent. Like, look at this, the dynamic super only dealt 2.2k damage, which is pretty much nothing. By the way, this was a very close game because Morty's hypercharge is just broken, but my surge clutched up in the most important moment and we won this game, which finally got me to diamond 1. Okay, mythic drop, this can't be good. Frank? Oh, it's a skin. I have never seen anyone use this, I can't lie. Anyways, I kept on pushing and at one point I had a very weird game. It kinda felt like I was playing against zombies because there's just no way these were real people. Like, they would just run at us and die over and over again without changing anything at all. Oh, and now draft was also introduced, but Colette wasn't getting banned, so it wasn't a problem for now. But having to pick her in knockout was definitely a bit awkward, even in diamond, but opponents made sure to keep my games easy. Like, it was kinda funny seeing these people genuinely trying in situations that were just not winnable. It was mostly no thinking, just vibes, which I definitely appreciate, and after this game I was already in diamond 2. Another drop, and I know it's easy to laugh at them, but let's do it anyway. However, the push from here got very interesting. In this game we have a slight lead. What could go wrong? Oh, yeah, that's one way to throw the game, but it's still winnable. Maybe we can win, it's not over yet. Oh, the Fang also threw. Let's see the stats. Luckily I still had some nice plays going with both the shield star power and pushback, and I still honestly didn't know which one was actually better. But what I knew was that playing Colette into anything that's not a tank was painful. The damage just isn't that good and most of the time I was losing any 1v1 interaction, which was a bit annoying. Luckily for now this still wasn't that big of an issue and I was winning most of the games and I got to diamond 3. Yay, another rank drop, I'm so excited. While on my way to Mythic, Colette was banned for the first time, so what did I do? I just dodged the game, to be fair. I wonder when we will actually get some punishments for doing that. Surprisingly, that still ended up being worse for me because I got the worst map ever. Snake Prairie. Having to pick Colette here was just so bad, but enemies definitely helped me a bit with their picks. Also, having Buzz with the vision gadget was massive and I had a chance to not be completely useless. Also, I made a good decision with my star power and pushback saved me a few times. Overall, it was a very messy game as expected, but we managed to come out on top with a 2-0 win. After that, to make this map a bit more bearable, I decided to buy vision gear and also +1 because the gadget is pretty strong. From this point I was of course getting a lot of open maps on which Colette just doesn't work, but it still wasn't the worst pick compared to this. This matchup overall wasn't that bad because I wasn't getting outranged and I was able to make a few plays with my super. This ended up being a very free win and I finally reached Mythic 1. Oh, finally, a legendary drop. Just don't be a star power. And it's also useless, I can't. But Mythic rank turned out to be a lot harder. I was losing a lot more games. I was trying as much as I could, but sometimes even into a perfect matchup it just wasn't possible to win. There were situations where not having teammates would be better since they wouldn't help enemies cycle supers. But also I had a very interesting thing happen. I pushed back the boss with the shield star power. It kinda looked like I had 2 star powers at once, but the boss just used the gadget. On my last game to Mythic 2, my teammate just decided to ban my Colette and unfortunately my fingers slipped. After that I got Brawler and this was one of the funniest drafts I have ever seen. I first picked Colette and enemies went with BB and Frank, 2 brawlers that get countered by Colette the most. Then my mates went Shelly and then Tara, so surely the last guy wouldn't go with a tank. If it wasn't obvious enough, this was the easiest game of this push, but holy, it was so fun. No matter who I was fighting, I knew I would win 100% of the time and enemies couldn't do anything about it. Maybe apart from picking better brawlers. Games like these are the reason why I love playing Colette so much. Tanks stand no chance against you and supering through them just feels so clean. After seeing the stats, you can tell it was a bullying session. This game also got me to Mythic 2 and now the question is, 100 or 170 bullying? This time 170. From there I had a nice win streak going, even though I had to play Colette in gem grab where she isn't that good, but I was making it work by just staying passive and slowly grabbing gems. But I still needed to have a Colette classic. Anyways, after winning this game quite comfortably, I got to Mythic 3. Bro, just give me 100 bling and let's move on. However, after that I went on a small losing streak. It started off with this Edgar. Every round he would shoot at me while not doing much himself. Also, he got baited by an AFK player which ended up getting him killed. With this ego I would expect him to be at least decent, but he wasn't. After this I learned that I need to start banning Macy more because my eyes were bleeding seeing what they were cooking up. Also, this game had triggered me a lot. It felt like I was playing World Finals and my enemies had their families on the line because there's just no way you try like this in Mythic. In the end the guy had the audacity to spin. How about you spin on some job applications? In another game my Leon just decided to run close to the max, so they both died. All of this ended up tilting me back to Mythic 2, which was a bit annoying. But from here I was winning every single game. Maybe the game started to feel bad for me, but each match was just so easy. Me playing a lot better probably did help a lot and these team wipes were just so clean. Without even realizing it, I was just 1 game away from Legendary 1. Of course I got one of the worst modes possible, but the draft luckily wasn't that bad. Round 1 was an easy win, but we slightly threw round 2. In round 3 however I did a bit more and I quickly picked up their Carl and after that I obliterated their Leon, so we ended up winning this game. In set 2 we lost. A quick 0-2 which made it 1-1 overall. Then in set 3 their Carl decided to just shamelessly 50-50 me, but it didn't work for him and then we won very easily. In round 2 my mates didn't feel like playing, so we just lost. At the start of round 3 I got killed with a Mandy super and then my Pearl got the Leon. After that I went for their Mandy and Angelo helped me confirm the kill. Now we're in a 2v1, so surely nothing could go wrong, right? Well, my Angelo just didn't really feel like using his gadget, so I was left in a 1v1. I was quite fortunate that it was Carl, so I just needed to stay passive and slowly chip him away. After forcing him to use the super I just couldn't throw the game and I didn't, which got me to Legendary 1 and at the same time gold to Mastery. From the Legendary drop I got a very weird skin and this is when I decided to stop playing for the day. Day 2 was definitely interesting. It started off with a Brawler game and maybe I didn't get a good matchup, but I was able to do a bit myself. Getting abused by Surge wasn't that ideal, but my Jackie was scoring a lot of goals, so we won fairly easily. Our steal might have been an impostor, but win is a win. And after this I kept on pushing while doing some nice tricks like this goal scoring one. Also it was a funny game because enemies were just going for me like I'm the only threat, but then my Surge just went for the ball and got an easy score. So from that I was already 1 game away from Legendary 2, but oh my, this was an interesting experience. To start it off I got a horrible map, but whatever, it happens. Sadly it turned out that I wasn't the worst player on the team and my Mortis had a bonus chromosome. Then after I died I got spawned by a guy called Omogorok. Brawler, your name sounds like a disease, but anyways we lost the first set. In the second round however I have lost all the hope I had in my team. I traded with the gas so they were in a 2v2. After that my Mortis got a kill, but the tick had got him. As a great, surely you can't lose to a tick. Surely. He then still proceeded to shoot the Mortis for some reason. Obviously we lost this game and maybe my mates had bad stats, but at least I lost a lot of elo for that. Mates like this didn't end here and these two were also quite special. Every single round they would go the right lane, which can work, but you need to be very careful. But because they are in this vid, that means they weren't careful, but for me it's quite insane that you can die every single round in a very stupid way and just keep on doing the same thing without any thinking. I was most of the time left in a 1v2 or a 1v3, so at least I was able to get some nice clips like this one, but obviously I cared more about winning that game. I would even shoot at them and the lane I wanted them to go, but they didn't change anything, so we lost. I then wanted to ask them how I was meant to show them which lane to go, but text chat was of course turned off. Luckily from here I went on a bit of a winning streak with some nice plays, like for example this Sprout cancelling my super, which ended up losing them the whole game. This motivated me to keep pushing and a few minutes later I reached Legendary 2. Will I get more than 200 blink this push? But after this it all went downhill. First up I had this Pearl and I think I will never understand why people really like to go for this place with all of the gems. Gem grab for some reason just gives you every single bad random possible and this Leon was no different. At the end of the game he decided to blame us for the loss with these stats. Like, the lack of awareness some people have is just insane to me, and I don't even have energy to talk about this. All of these combined caused me to go back to 7500 elo, basically where I started the push that day, but from here I luckily had a bit of a lucky streak. In this game the Steel started spinning on us just to lose the next 2 rounds, and spinning back on him felt extremely good. And after a very long grind and some last minute clutches like this, I got back to Legendary 2, and shortly after this I stopped playing for the day at 20,921 mastery points. I started off day 3 by opening my mega pick, but it's safe to say it wasn't that mega. After that I decided to buy this 8-bit skin, hoping it would give me a bit of luck, and it kinda worked. In my first game I got gem grab, but it still went well. Maybe playing against Piper on lane wasn't that fun, but once I got control over it I was able to be as annoying as possible. The end of the game was quite close though. Enemies started the countdown, but I was able to easily reset it. Then their Steel dropped all of the gems and we were able to grab them, but on the way out I nearly folded, but I dodged some shots when it was most important. My gen still nearly threw, but I got all of the gems and I won the game. After this match I also got back to Legendary 2, so I thought it would be a clean push from here. And I mean, it was going very well. The elo was slowly going up, but by no means were the games easy. This one felt like a World Finals match because cornering the ball with 1 minute left is so shameless. Oh, and they also put a penny turret here, so this was a very fun experience, as you can tell. They nearly somehow lost this game, but they got a bit lucky. Being 1-0 down, I couldn't lose this game, so I locked in like my family was on the line, and we managed to win, and boy did it feel good to win. But then I also had games with plus 20 elo. Why was that? Well, there are people who queue up with silver players and you get nothing when you win. Basically a pointless game. But overall the push went so well, I was just 1 game away from Legendary 3, but there was a slight problem. Snake Prairie. I really hope after this season we will never see it again, because like, how is this gameplay fun? Everybody is so confused and it's just a massive 50-50 fest, which doesn't reward any skill. Maybe that's why it's in the game. So that's why we lost this game and got minus 101 elo for that. Very fair. But after winning another 2 games I was back to being 1 game away again. But this time I got extremely lucky. I got in a team with my friend Marcel. Unfortunately that still leaves room for 1 bot random, and in the first game we got to see him throw 10 gems. In the second game I realized he won't go off the mid, so I had to go lane, and it worked because of the vision gear. It's actually so underrated because I never see anybody using it in my games. Anyways, my Otis dropped the gems again, so I decided to be the gem carrier, and he finally went lane where he was playing quite well. I grabbed the last gems with my super, but their Tara was waiting, so I folded, but my mates had me covered. In the last seconds their Tara had a hypercharge, so she reset the countdown and I nearly threw the game, but Ember bailed us out and we finally won. And I can't lie, the last round was very easy. I have bullied their search for about a minute when we got the countdown, which enemies didn't reset this time. This finally got me to Legendary 3 and my friend invited me. Even he didn't trust my Colette and he also wanted to do a queue, but I wanted to get to Master solo, so I kept on playing by myself. Oh, and here's the ranked drop. Somehow I was still winning every game and elo was just going up. I also got to play with a few of my viewers, which is kinda cool to see that more and more people are recognizing me in game. Because of that I was getting close to Masters and I thought nothing could stop me. But then my internet happened. It just randomly stopped working, so I ended the day on 23,925 mastery points. At the start of day 4 I made a small mistake. I banned Colette. I don't know how that even happens. I knew I couldn't dodge anymore, so I decided to play the game with a different epic brawler, and it ended up being Edgar. To be fair, I thought Edgar wasn't a good brawler, but into the right matchup he can do incredibly good, and I had a lot of fun being able to play a different brawler for once. We won this game quite comfortably and I was well on my way to Masters. But this time it wasn't as easy. I would win a game and lose, and I wasn't making progress. However, I was gaining mastery and I was just 1 game away from gold 3 Colette. I got fairly lucky with the map, which was Ring of Fire, and enemies even picked Chuck, which helped me quite a lot. I was able to get a lot of supers from him and also hypercharges, but these weren't used that well. However, he also gave me a lot of value from my gadgets and we won the first set. In the second round I was playing a bit of a respawn simulator, but I was getting time on the zone, which is all that matters, and we won, which got me to collect mastery. I was thinking if I should claim the mastery later, but I decided to do it now to give myself a bit of luck, so it means I am now touching your the collector. These titles just don't work anymore. This had an interesting effect because I was getting more and more people adding me to laugh at the Colette pick. However, it didn't really bring me down and I just kept on going, so after a while I was just 1 game away from Masters. I got gem grab, and after we picked our brawlers my teammate dodged. Next game was on triple dribble, and this time enemies dodged. After that I got center stage, and after we picked our brawlers, guess what happened? Enemies dodged for the 3rd time in a row. But then we got hideout. A horrible map for Colette, but the enemy picks made it very much possible to play Colette. Here is how it went. Nice, I'm on the pearl, this should be free. No, get the monkey, bro. Okay, nice. This is not looking good. Maybe I can go for the pearl. Nice, bro, I'm so lucky. If we stay together I think we should be good, honestly. Oh, and Byron's dead. Heal, heal. Okay, nice. Good pull, just don't die. Nice. Get the pearl. Okay, these guys are good. Monkey super, of course he goes for me. Bro, this guy is horrible. Oh my. Now we rail the gas. Please pinch. Nice. Okay, Pearl is dead again. I don't think we can lose now. Nice, now just one more. Okay, the swapped lanes guess might be hard to win. Bro, no way they just gave up. Yeah, the Pearl is not playing, like what's the point? Kinda feel bad for Miko, I can't lie. How is this a game for the highest rank in the game, bro? This has to be a joke. Byron super him? Okay, now it's not losable, but like what's the point honestly? Yay, I killed a guy who has no teammate, how exciting. So yeah, as you can hear, I wasn't quite happy with the Pearl just giving up, but at least we won this game, which meant I got 2 masters by mostly playing Colette. Oh, at least I got a job, just don't be a star power pro. So if you like this video, then you will like this one. Click here to watch that.